Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, liquor shills, debt slaves, serfs, peasants, vassals, minions, meat sacks, Trump watchers. I'm a useful idiot. Welcome, and let's go back to the good old USA. And I'm just loving these exchanges out there. It's so interesting. But between Donald Trump and some of these other people involved in the political field right now, and more interesting to me though, and I want to make this point clear and emphasize this, is what's interesting to me is how the press treats these stories, and that's the focus of my videos. But I have to say, I'm really interested in the fact that my stated interest in quasi support for Trump has gotten a lot of controversial comments and a lot of hate and backlash my way, and I'm really surprised. I've never really experienced anything quite like this since I've been on YouTube the last 5 years or so. So anyway, it's kind of interesting how that works out. So any videos I do on Trump now that appear to defend his behavior or examine how the press treats him or anything like that apparently is going to generate a lot of controversy and continued backlash. The people who do not like Trump are definitely motivated, vehement, and unfortunately victims of a lot of media sensationalism. And I don't want to downplay the fact that there's a lot about Trump. Like I mentioned, every fucking time I do a video on Trump, that I agree. There's things about him that are kind of scary. He's pretty abrasive. There's some of his policies are questionable, to say the least. But overall, like I say, I see a lot of status quo who are afraid of him. I see a lot of media manipulation to stop him, and the fact that everybody that is so party line aligned hates him so much that makes me find him very attractive. So let's get to the story anyway. This is the way the media portrays this exchange with Ted Cruz and Donald Trump is far more sensationalist than when you actually look at the story. The headline is, quote, "Trump issues jaw-dropping threat to Ted Cruz's wife," unquote. So that's the first thing you see. Since most Americans don't even bother watching videos and reading these articles, they just see these titles and these headlines and then make their decision. So the damage is already done with a headline like that. So now everybody once again is going, oh, there's Trump again being a belligerent, petty tyrant and the next Hitler. The article goes on with another headline, quote, "The GOP frontrunner took to Twitter on Tuesday night to threaten his rival's wife," unquote. Boy, this is sounding worse and worse and worse all the time. Donald Trump must just be a complete asshole, and Ted Cruz, that poor victim of Donald Trump's violence. And then it goes on to say, quote, "Donald Trump just threatened Ted Cruz's wife on Twitter," unquote. Just so, in case nobody got the point, Trump made a threat against Ted Cruz's wife. But then when you get to the article, they start backpedaling a little bit. They call it a, quote, "cryptic threat," unquote. So then by the time you actually get to what Donald Trump wrote, boy, it's pretty anticlimactic. I was expecting something really bad. And it goes like this. Trump tweeted, quote, "Wow, Ted Cruz, that is some low-level ad you did using a picture of Melanie, Trump's wife, in a GQ shoot. Be careful or I will spill the beans on your wife," unquote. Well, first of all, that's not much of a threat. And second of all, it's not even really against his wife. It's against Cruz, and it's against the political process. And once again, as I pointed out before, it seems fairly legitimate. If Ted Cruz and his campaign or people that support his campaign are going to use pictures, racy pictures of Trump's wife and use that as a fair game in a political campaign, then I think Trump has every right to respond to that. And the fact that he showed so much restraint is actually kind of what impresses me. And I think rather than being a threat to Ted Cruz's wife, I think it's a threat about the fact that Trump knows as well as a lot of other people do that Ted Cruz's wife used to work for Goldman Sachs, and there should be some beans to spill on that. So I would imagine that's what it's about. So anyway, And that is a fairly low thing for them to drag out these pictures of his wife. But at the same time, like I've said in other videos, if they want to drag out all this crap and air it out in this election cycle, it's pretty unsavory. But that's what these people do. And so to single out Trump for these kind of tactics is once again pretty disingenuous. So anyway, there's my little piece on this latest exchange with Trump and Cruz, and I will continue to do stories like this when I find these examples of how the press is treating Trump. And as I've told some of my regulars, I am going to do a video on the whole issue of Donald Trump in this election cycle and his policies and his advisors and things like that, so people can maybe get a clearer picture of how complex this issue with Trump is and where I stand on it. I'm a useful idiot. Don't you be one too.